Here we go. Wednesday forecast with Dr. Wine.
Dr. Wine's what he's been saying all morning. I don't know
Mr.
where he got
Redfield
this
here.
from.
I don't know, man. We were walking
You
through
were-
the
you were looking
newsroom.
at
I
my
said,
diploma.
Dr. Wine and I have got to do some very important weather updates. We've got the stream coming up for you. We're going to get you updated with the rain that's happening, drizzly, tropical air
What are
in
those real
place.
dreary days that we have in store?
It's a good movie day, moms and
Yeah.
dads. If you're hanging out and you don't have anything to do, get to sit back and enjoy a couple hours and put off some errands because it's nasty out, and wait for the kids to get home. Turn on some TV, have a good time, right?
I'd say so. Pop a little popcorn. Get the M&Ms out. Throw those in there too. I'm down for popcorn and a little chocolate mix.
Sounds good to me. Let's do some weather.
All right, I'd say that's what we're here for, right? Not movie suggestions or afternoon.
We can do
Look,
movie suggestions. I actually have a few.
Sandlot.
This time of the year, I love the Sandlot. This time
Absolutely.
of the year, though, as we get into Halloween spooky season, Matthew, I have all sorts of scary movie recommendations if you ever want to know. Nothing too frightening right now with the thunderstorms that haven't formed just yet, but we need some heating if we're going to get some boomers. Have to get warmer today, and we have to get this batch of rain to slide off to the east, don't we?
Yeah, it's been pretty persistent throughout the night and today, and this was going to be one of our days with better rain chances in here. Obviously, yesterday we had a little in the morning, and then we dried out a lot until the late evening hours, but now we've got those showers and storms returning. Most of it just light rain right now, and I still think that at times we could see some moderate rainfall, but not necessarily as heavy as what we got Monday, where it was widespread, super heavy rain. In fact, some places, Jude, I think got 4+ inches.
Yeah, Trimble County, Clark County, along the river there was a flood warning that we had, and all of that happened within about 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
It came down so quickly that the rain came down fast to where there was runoff, and also the fact that the ground was so hard from the drought, it was extra runoff. So too much rain, short period of time. The drought actually played a role in that flood situation. We've moved on past that. The thing that I find somewhat intriguing, I guess, there's a few areas here in Kentuckiana that haven't even had a quarter inch just yet.
Even
out of
despite all that heavy rain.
Sunday,
Yep.
Monday, yesterday, and what we've had so far today. We get our last grand finale of this. It's going to come in. There's definitely the likelihood that another push of heavy rain, it's not going to end the drought for us in southern Kentucky,
Right.
but it'll help. And what we're going to show you now, some of the places in the last 24 hours where we've had mainly light rain. There were a few isolated storms last night when we were asleep, but we keep saying that if it's going to materialize, it's this low pressure and cold front that slingshots in tonight, that's when we'd have a better opportunity for the gushing downpours and maybe an isolated strong storm. It's not really lined up for a perfect setup for severe weather. That's one thing we're discussing. But Matthew, Hodgenville, Lyon Station down in LaRue County, parts of southern Nelson County, Hardin County, that's this one stripe where we keep getting missed with the big time rain that puts a dent in the drought.
Yeah, and so you can see down there, E-Town, only 300ths of an inch of rain. Litchfield, 1500ths. We need more than that. And I do think that today does give us a better opportunity as long as that center of low pressure swings on by that area. And most of the models that I was looking at this morning did paint heavier rain in our southern counties. So we need to pick up the rain down there. We've got a good chance for it. We've got a lot of moisture at the surface with dew points near 70 degrees. Not going to see much budge in temperature today, though, because of all that cloud cover out there.
Got tropical in a hurry, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure did.
I mean, we went from the dry heat 90s. There were a couple days where the heat index, feels like temperature, was actually lower than the real temperature. Say it was 91, it felt like 89 because
Right.
the air was so dry, couldn't buy any rain. And now this soup that we have is helping produce the rain and thunderstorms. And we're in this today, tonight, even parts of tomorrow. It's going to take a while to bring back the lower humidity. You can't just get rid of it now that the ground's wet, now that the air's filtered in with some heavy rain. We're looking at where we have wind and where we don't have wind. And how does this play a role in maybe helping severe weather go or not helping severe weather develop, Matthew?
Well, we tend to be looking for winds. Obviously, these are at the surface, but tend to be looking for winds at the surface that are mainly out of the southwest and then start to be shifting as we go higher up in the atmosphere. In fact, more southerly at the surface oftentimes. So Right now, what we're doing is we're bringing it in from the Gulf. A lot of that, like you mentioned, tropical moisture coming on in. And it's a little bit different than what we had to deal with over the last few days. So this should produce, if we get some good storms in here, some heavier rainfall. But I think it's also part of the reason that we're seeing the widespread light showers today is while we're not necessarily sparking off storms yet, we've got a lot of moisture to work with. So it doesn't take a lot to squeeze at least a little bit out.
Right. One thing that I love when I look at this wind map, we don't have a lot of wind. So if you're concerned about severe weather, if we ever have days when severe storms are in the forecast and it's like hunker down, be ready. Usually you see the trees moving around a little bit, things are shaking. This is well in advance of thunderstorms even developing. If you go outside right now, there's not a lot of wind blowing, so not a lot of availability for thunderstorms to grab hold of strong winds from the surface or up. That will limit severe weather possibilities today. You know, it's something where we had been mentioning real low end chance, small chance, little itty bitty chance. I mean, and nothing's changed, nothing's gone up. In fact, if anything, it might have lowered even more.
I'd say so. And really the only chance that we're looking at are a few stronger wind gusts, right? Unlikely to see anything more than that, or at least not from what I've looked at earlier today. Here's that low that you were talking about, Jude, and the lightning tracker associated with it. You notice most of it south of the Ohio River. As I said before, I think that's where most of our storms, stronger ones, or ones that produce more rain, are going to be happening here today. So that's some good news for those that haven't gotten as much rain in our southern communities, south of the parkways especially. You might have that better chance to get the heavier showers and storms today.
Here's a movie reference for you. This is like the Obi-Wan Kenobi. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're our only hope. If you're down in those locations,
I like this,
that have missed out, you know, especially the farming communities or just anyone wants rain, it's like, this is it. This is our only hope with what's left to give us the good rain to maybe drop a half inch, an inch and a half of rain. This final surge comes in, and it does appear a lot of that bullseye, that target zone, will be in Kentucky.
Yeah, tomorrow's not going to produce nearly as much rain. We're not going to have as much moisture to work with as we go through the day tomorrow. So let's walk you through today. Again, pop-up showers and storms south of 64, maybe along and south of the parkways, have that better chance to produce really heavy rain. You can see those colors going off the charts here in southern Kentucky. Now, exactly where that lines up, we don't know right now.
Models it might not be perfect. There.
Right. But we still think that that better chance is in the southern half of our region. Not to say that the northern half doesn't get anything. You can see some more showers start to move north. And this is as the low is moving through. So at this point, looks like that low directly over the tri-state area, over Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky border. And then that should move directly across our region. And as long as it does so, it's often going to produce the heavier showers.
And there's been red on the radar this morning. Most of that is just heavy rain. Sometimes people associate it with thunderstorms. The red on the radar after we get warmer today behind this dry slot could have lightning with it. The same thing tonight. This is when there might be that available instability, just enough fuel to where there are some thunderstorms. There would be some lightning, not necessarily severe weather, but also as we focus across Kentucky, notice this last push coming in from western Kentucky starting to curl around. You can even pinpoint a little bit of that curlicue. That's the low pressure.
Right.
So as that scoots on through tonight through, say, 3 or 4 in the morning, we should get into that time frame, Matthew, when quite a bit of thunderstorms and scattered rain, and the heaviest rain is going to be noted with our Wednesday night, Thursday morning outlook. In fact, as this pushes on through right up the Ohio River, on the backside, the winds are shifting to the northwest. What happens when the winds come in from the northwest?
We start to cut off that flow that we need to get the moisture up in here. So that's when we tend to see things dry out, and you can see that happening rapidly on Thursday. So as mentioned before, a lot of moisture to work with today, not nearly as much to work with tomorrow. And you can see those rain chances reflect that perfectly, where maybe we just are left over with some lighter showers tomorrow as opposed to the heavy downpours.
So as we squeeze it out, that northwest wind is a drier flow of air. To get the lower humidity, you have to basically wring it out. There will be some straggler showers, maybe some drizzly conditions with these low-hanging tropical clouds. But by tomorrow evening, there's a lot of indicators that many of those clouds will scatter And the humidity's dropping Thursday night. Should be a lovely sunset for some. If you haven't gotten the clouds to leave entirely by Thursday evening, they're about to, though, aren't they?
Yeah, it's looking like as we head into the weekend that things will shape up very nicely. We may see a little bit of a warm-up heading into the weekend as well. Look at Friday, starting the day off in the 50s and the low 60s, and then we're going to make our way up into those upper 70s to maybe a few 80s out there. But overall, I mean, it is a beautiful end to the work week, heading into the weekend on a great note, a dry note most likely. I don't know if you had left a rain chance in for this.
I'm going to show you
All
something
right,
about
let's see
that
it.
right now. That's funny that you bring it up. So there's high pressure coming in. That's where you have sinking air that usually says, no rain most of the time. There's that low pressure that's leaving our area. It gets caught up in the Carolinas. So there's been a little back and forth in the last 24 to 36 hours with a few computer models to where that low tries to slingshot back a little bit, throw in some moisture. I don't necessarily think right now we need to put anything in for Sunday. Maybe Sunday night going into Monday, potentially close enough that you mentioned a 20% chance. Right now, we're going to be optimistic.
Yep.
We're going to say Saturday's dry. We're going to keep Sunday dry. Some of those clouds might filter in and swing around this low
I think
pressure.
that's the most likely scenario.
I mean, maybe not just a blue sky and all sun, but
Right.
hey, there's like a little extra personality, charisma in the sky with some of the clouds that float on through. But Matthew, read that. I mean, if this is how it plays out,
my
brother,
reading
what else do
glasses
you
on.
want?
Saturday, lower humidity. Yeah, I think that's about what you could hope for, right? You got the lower humidity coming in on Saturday. High temperatures may squeak out a couple of 80s out there. Again, you could see one or two maybe on Friday, but it's most likely scenario is that it feels like a fall day should, sitting somewhere around 78, 79 in most spots. Lots of sunshine. Going into Saturday, again, more sunshine, but still got some clouds hanging around. Saturday night, fire pit time.
There it
burn
is.
bans. I
Cheers.
think I'm all in on that.
Cheers to the fire pit.
Just got one myself.
Did you?
I did. Sorry, I can't drink mine on air. I got a little. Never mind. we got some. I'd say that this is perfect bonfire weather heading our way.
It is. And the best thing about this rain that we had, a lot of the burn bans will be
Should be
lifted in
out.
some
Yep.
areas. There's still going to be some issues if this rain never materializes in the Hardin County, LaRue, Hart, and southern Nelson County where we didn't get as much rain. It still might be an issue, but many of us will be able to fire pit it up Friday night, Saturday night. Should be outstanding. And while it does look like some lower 80s come back, it doesn't necessarily look that sticky. Not like right now with those dew points close
Yeah,
to
I
70.
know at Louisville International, we've seen about an inch and a third so far over the last 3 days. I haven't calculated what we've had today adding on to that and last night, but an inch and a third
We
makes
haven't
up
had
for
much. We haven't had much since
Yeah.
midnight, little bits, but
it makes up almost entirely for the deficit that we've been in so far this month. So if we get another couple of storms, heavier downpours today, that may put us in the green on the month.
I was looking at some stuff the other day before the rain really got going. The first 4 days in the month of September, we had, I think it was 0.76. That was 3/4 of an inch of rain. And on Sunday, we had 0.3, 0.3. So through that Sunday rain, we were right around an inch. And all of it essentially the first 4 days. So you went about 3 weeks with diddly squat.
Right.
Now starting to hit it. We're going to be mowing pretty soon. Things are greening up again.
Yeah.
Next couple of weeks, mowing, raking leaves that are coming down. Fall is in the air. Fire pit season. One more cheers before we send it away.
I'm down for that.
There you go. Boom. Cheers to you. Have a great day. And next time we might have to do some movie reviews. How's that sound?
That sounds good to me.
All right, bro.